Hello, everyone, and welcome to MG28 Talks Tech. And I hope wherever you are today, you are living the dream just like I am. My name is Mac, and I will be your host for these talks. With over a decade of experience in the technology profession, I am hoping to bring what I know to all of you in an easy to understand way. We will cover a wide variety of topics, so if you have anything you want covered, make sure to leave it in the comments section or hit me up on one of my social media accounts that will be in the description. If you enjoy these talks, make sure to like and subscribe or even share with a friend so we can reach others and make a fun and collaborative community here. We will get started in just a few seconds, so lean back, take a drink of your favorite beverage, and come along and take an adventure into our talk today. Hey everyone, this week I want to dig into the third quarter adversarial report from Meta. Before we dig into that, there are some key terms we really need to go over. I want to explain what information warfare is and how that pertains to this report. First, let's really define what information warfare is. So, this is directly from NATO's website, and information warfare deals a lot with mis and disinformation. Their particular definition here states that information warfare is an operation conducted in order to gain an information advantage over the opponent. So, some aspects of this can be just destroying information of a adversary, acquiring information, but particularly what we're going to be talking about today is putting out information that may not be correct or trying to sway opinions of a particular group by showing yourself as either a member of that community or that country when you're really not. So let's take this a step further, specifically for those of us in the United States. This is actually a document from the United States Navy about information warfare. They do train and employ individuals to be information warfare officers. So let me enlarge this just a little bit more for you guys. So particularly here, the Navy describes information warfare as conducting psychological operations. A lot of people, when they think of psychological operations or psyops, they kind of think of the old school psyops of like replaying certain types of noises with certain sayings that would kind of almost drive people crazy enough to believe whatever was being said in those recordings. But this is a new kind of different type of psychological operations using things like social media and the internet now that we have more capabilities to reach more people in that way. So I'll make sure that this is also posted in the description section so you all can go and review this if you're wanting more information or even to kind of see what the Navy is talking about and what you have to do to be a part of this if that's interesting to you. All right, so now that we understand what information warfare is, let's start talking about the report that was released. The first article here is actually talking about how Facebook or Meta put out this report about the actions they found on Facebook that could classify as information warfare. I'll make sure again that this is posted in the description so you all can go and review this article in its entirety. But I want to go and specifically look at this report. So this is for the third quarter this year from Meta, and it focuses at first on the United States. So what we're looking at here is there are some key countries, and in cybersecurity, we would consider these APTs, Advanced Persistent Threats. So advanced persistent threats are organizations, companies, countries typically that have enough funds to continuously go and attack, maybe another country or a system. So here, Meta lists the United States as number one, that they removed 39 Facebook accounts, 16 pages, two groups, and 26 accounts on Instagram for violating their policies against coordinated, inauthentic behavior. So typically, what this means is that they had like the 39 Facebook accounts were probably individuals acting as somebody other than themselves to try to influence conversations, just like these groups and pages probably were as well. And then if we go down here, this does give an example here of some other findings that were published by another article. They list China as also participating in this. 81 Facebook accounts, 8 pages, 1 group, and 2 accounts on Instagram. And then they also list Russia. So they don't list any other countries, just these 3. That in Russia, you can see had quite a bit found here. Over a little over 1,600 accounts, 703 pages in 1 group, and then 29 accounts on Instagram. And a lot of times, especially in the United States, when we're talking about advanced persistent threats, we usually talk about China, we talk about Russia, talk about North Korea a lot. But technically, the United States is considered an APT, an advanced persistent threat. We do similar actions that these other countries are doing. So we are going to try to influence other countries to do what we would like for them to do. So we will try to sway their population into believing what we want them to believe, just like Russia tries to do to us, just like China tries to do to us. Russia had lots of accounts during the 2016 election that were infiltrating conversations, both for the election and just also trying to stoke tension between individuals. No matter what they believed in, they were on both sides of the fence here, trying to kind of poke at the other side to create division. So I wanted to provide this information to everybody and kind of take a look at this specifically for the United States. The United States looks like they were targeting Afghanistan, Algeria, Iran, Iraq, Kazakhstan, Russia, Syria. So some of these are big names, right? So you got Russia, you got Iran, Iraq, Syria, and specifically Russia. With the Russia Ukraine war going on, we don't know for sure. They don't list exactly what they were trying to do here in this article, but we could be trying to convince, the Russian population to go out and protest against the war or, be anti-Putin, things like that. That's information warfare type items. Now, within this report from Meta, there is research that is referenced. I will make sure that that link is also available to all of you in the description. There's a few things I kind of want to show you guys before I end our session today. And one of this is like the major groupings right here. So this is the network map, and this is specific to Twitter. So this might be really interesting to kind of look at. So this red here is Iran anti-regime, and then you have almost as big of cluster here as pro-regime for Iran. And you have Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, things like that. They have some really good breakdowns here. It would be worth the read to kind of just see what's happening. But if we keep going down here, they go through. It's a really good, a really well written research document here that goes really in depth into what they found. You see posting patterns. One thing for especially us in America that we might find interesting is right here. Activity in the Afghanistan group peaked during periods of strategic importance for the U.S., including the months prior to and following the signing of the agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan, U.S. Taliban deal. In February 2020 and the months leading up to the completed U.S. departure from Afghanistan in 2021. So this doesn't specify exactly what the activity was, but these groups did increase their activity during those times. So what were they posting would be interesting to know. I'm not sure that this states that. This is just, yeah, that's just the agreement that came up. But you can see here, this shows the activity levels, and you see them jumping here. So one more thing I want to show you all is the TTP, so tactics, techniques, and procedures that are used with these groups. And one of these, here, let me get down to, is that they'll take a photo of a real individual and slightly edit it. As you can see here, this was actually a picture used in one of the profiles that this research found. So they just switch it up a little bit and makes it look like a real individual. And so they don't have to really post their own picture because obviously they don't want to show that they're not from the area. And then this also was pretty interesting to me. So what they'll do is they'll take reports from another country, so maybe an English written report, and then translate it to their language, but they will change slight words and make sure that the translation reads like it's a true, like say it's from a Russian translation, it will read like it was like it was originally written in Russian. So they make sure that it flows correctly, but they change some of these words just slightly to be more of what they want it to be. Again, I'll make sure that I include all the links and documents that I've shown you guys today. But that is going to do it. And hopefully, this was informative and you really enjoyed this episode. If you want to cover more on information warfare, or if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave it in the comments if you want another episode kind of around this topic. And I could do some more digging for other examples for this, and we can go over that. Really appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you next week. See ya.